to the DFL Breakdown, presented by GrizLeeGear, with your hosts, Lucas Ford and Ricky Epperson.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the DFL Breakdown, the #1 cartoon side character themed, league-specific weekly fantasy football podcast in the world. We're here, it's me, it's my boy Ricky. Week 6 just happened. We're approaching the midpoint of the regular season of fantasy football, and the middle of the pack still hasn't shaken itself quite out yet, but we're definitely getting some exciting games with some stakes on the line. How are you feeling, Ricky? How's everything going for you?
I'm good. You're right. We're in the middle of it. The middle lands, the middle of the pack. It's all gear. It's where the fantasy season is really like in the thick of it. Early season, you're figuring out, all right, what guys are, showing us what we thought we'd see, what guys are new, how do we adjust. The middle is when you really, should have your plan kind of formulated for the year and see how that goes toe to toe with everyone else. And then, the end game's its own different thing. So it's an exciting time. Again, those dueling kind of approaches to the game should be coming out here. And feeling good. Sorcerers are in a good spot.
Yeah, well,
How about you?
I've had better weeks, but we can talk about that more when we get to the matchup. But long story short, there's a reason last week was titled "Trapped in the Trap House." Help in parentheses, because I knew I wasn't getting out unscathed. So you can we'll see shortly. But Chris had a pretty good week against me here. But yeah, like you said, we're in the middle of it. The thick of things are really starting to heat up. This is when it can start to be a lot. It's new and exciting in the beginning. You really want to follow all your players, but especially after these grueling schedules, the morning international games, the late night 10 o'clock Monday night football games, sometimes a lot of the details can get lost. The bye weeks are here. This is when the real gamers come through. This is where you put up or shut up with the fantasy football. We'll see what kind of decisions people are making as we're starting to see trends and really hammer some things out to see the way our teams are going to look for the rest of the year. So without further ado, let's get to the game breaker, because we definitely had some exciting performances to go over, and we'll see what happened this past week in week 6 in the DFL. Let's do it.
I'm coming! Here I come! Game breaker.
All right. Yeah, you can see straight off, like I mentioned, the Tampa Trap House had a hell of a week here. 177 points for them, our best performer on the week. Someone new to the worst team slot, that's the Bill Cosby Sleepers, going from undefeated to putting up a 66.5 point week. They fell asleep at the wheel on this one against the Sorcerers. Maybe a little sleep spell was used. Yeah, who knows?
Pocket full of sand for my enemies. That's a stinker. The Sleepers had it in them, and it showed right here. But yeah, that trap house, dangerous place to go. I can't believe you walked in there with with what you had. You needed more.
I tried to bring some extra spice here into that matchup, but couldn't quite get it done. So we'll get to it in a second here. But first, our game breaker of the week, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's back. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Now
here's a guy that can get
37 points.
Here's a guy that's our quarterback one on the year so far, and that's just to be expected with Mahomes. 37 points on the week, coupled with a 32-point production week from Drake London for Tyke 2. A huge part, a massive part of his win this week, win singular. He still didn't manage to get over the median there. What
Double game breaker wet noodle?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing right now?
I mean, we're going to have to do it. Why don't we just go ahead and get to our score summary so we can talk about it a little more?
Now, here's a guy.
Score summary.
That's right. Yep, we have our it's look, the median was at what is it, like 132 this week, and just not there, man. 7th place score.
Wet Noodle Fight of the Week.
Dang. Team Joe Biden versus the Bower of London, the 11 and 12 place team, only scraping 1 win out of this matchup for 4 total wins and losses there. 2 losses to Team Joe Biden and 1 to the Bower of London, keeping them at the bottom of the standings. But we still had some game-breaking performances carrying the Bower of London here, despite the sea of mediocrity in red that we see. It was Drake London and Patrick Mahomes putting together almost 70 points for him, and more than half of his total point spread from just these 2 players. So everything else here besides Cooper Kupp and Jake Tonges, just red and terrible for both sides. And I mean, 74 points.
Yeah, I mean, Eric didn't even need to do all of this. I mean, he's like 50 points above what he needed to get the same result. His IDPs, I look back, his IDPs have been very solid all season, and those are the difference makers here. I think
Let
you
'em
get
know.
above that median. A couple people came up, Alex and Riley came up, and kind of snaked them out of it. He was kind of projected to land up in that area. But yeah, just a whole lot of like inconsistency coming from his roster here. But so low, that's Michael Pittman's worst game of the season. Jacoby Myers, I think that's on the low end as well. And Tony Pollard and Saquon Barkley combining for 15 points. You're hoping to get 15 points from both of them, or like 15 and 12 or something, right? But Saquon Barkley hasn't really paid off his first round draft price at all this season. The
That's
Eagles have
right.
looked pretty bad, and Saquon looks bad alongside him. And his counterpart over on the other side, Jalen Hurts, I mean, 22 points. That's okay. That's not why you drafted Jalen Hurts in like the 3rd round, though, right? You want 30 out of him, 35. Right. Like, where is it?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. You look at Nate's team, it really doesn't look all that bad. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. Chase Brown was supposed to be good. Joe Burrow has a lot to do with that. But yeah, now he's rolling out guys like Xavier Legette and Alec Manor, and like that's kind of suspect.
Henry.
But
it's just,
yeah,
he dropped everyone he ever drafted. He's been waiting for Rashee Rice to come back. He has been waiting for this week for a long time. Didn't have Mike Evans. But yeah, Brian Burns, man, he has made the wrong decision with his IDP guys every week so far. And that feels terrible, man. I think I've mentioned it before. I'm in a league that's all IDP guys, and I've been spending a lot of time doing the same thing. It feels so bad trying to predict some of these defensive guys. But that's just the nature of the beast there, and he's unfortunately been on the wrong end of it. So, bunch of losses here. What?
In my opinion, the IDPs are supposed to kind of be, a little bit of a swing for you, some RNG, some luck to kind of help you out in a more like thoughtful way than the kickers or the defenses, which are really dice rolls, right? But I don't know, if you find yourself trying to like full on rely on them to get you there, that's a tough game to play. I don't know if I recommend that, but yeah, this is a wet noodle fight to remember. And I don't know. We talked about last week how the 2 bottom teams could just go nuclear on each other for no reason, and we didn't quite get that here. They did almost exactly what you'd expect them to do. And to your point, I think Nate did scramble quite a bit in the beginning. He's like, I don't have the answers. Things aren't working. Drop this guy, pick up that guy, chase points, and I think he might have been better off just holding for Rice as best he could. And he drafted those guys for a reason.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what he ends up doing moving forward here. There was definitely a lot of hot action on the waiver wire this week, and a trade that I have to talk about. I think I'll have to talk about before the trade segment here. But he's definitely still in it and trying to get things done. He's had a terrible beginning of the season, but like we said, we're not quite halfway through yet, so anything that's happened can still happen in reverse. But that's enough talking about the bottom of the barrel there. We got some more matchups to talk about. We did talk about Riley just barely sneaking up and getting a median win out at the end of this matchup against Sal. The Retardinals keeping it hot here, 11-1, going to first place on this one, and doing it, in style, putting Sam Darnold in and Nick Herbig in, picking those guys fresh up off the waiver for
Waiver Warrior.
some double waiver warrior action here. We had a little bit of a talk in the chat while it was happening, whether Sam Darnold or Nick Herbig would be deserving of it, but them both being on the same team here. Sal's our waiver warrior this week. Good job, buddy. You did it twice over, showing everybody how to do it. Filling the spots you needed to fill in your lineup due to some injuries with some real winners that were just out there waiting for people to pick them up. So,
Right. 45 points between
yeah,
the two of them.
huge.
That's huge. It's a third of a good week, right? 156 is great. So, yeah, they're out there. You can go get them. I think that's what Nate tried to do. I don't think it doesn't always work out, guys.
Doesn't always work.
But it does take some guts, and for that we commend you.
Well, he needed it this week for sure. He did get the win and the median win here, but it really wasn't that by that wide of a margin. I mean, 20 points is good, but it wasn't because of his main guys that have been doing it for him so far. Puka Nacua getting an ankle injury. He's probably going to miss this week and then have a bye week the week after. So this 4.8 points are going to be the last little piddly amount of points we see from him for a little bit, which is sad because he's been on a tear. Bill has been very hot and cold. It's just super hard to predict. Every time he gets 1.7, so you bench him, then he gets 10, you put him in, he gets 7, you're like, that's not enough to win me a week. You bench him, 27 points. You're like, okay, I gotta put him in now, 5.8. Well, people are gonna bench him, and he's gonna get 30 points against Dallas. So it's just, what do you do with Bill? I guess you start him after he has a bad week because you know the good week's coming. But he survived the bad week here, I guess.
He's touchdown dependent, right? Those big week is 2 touchdowns and a breakaway run, and he didn't get a breakaway run or any touchdowns, and he fumbled the ball this week. So, it's gonna be bad. That was a fumble on top of like the one where him and Jane Daniels kind of mishandled the snap together. Jane Daniels really mishandled the snap, but then Bill didn't help at all in recovering it. And that didn't count against him here, but he put the ball on the ground twice, or 1.5 times at least. So, JSN a little bit further down, stacked up with Sam Darnold here.
Yeah, 30
That
points.
was kind of what propelled him forward. Tyler Warren has been very good.
Yep.
Rookie tight end. That's very much a part of that. Brought in a touchdown this week and everything. And then
2 TDs for T-Mac.
I think this is his first TDs of the season. I think
and he got 2 of them.
And he got 2 of them against Dallas. That's kind of fun to score 2 touchdowns against the Cowboys in your first time you're in there.
Yeah,
celebrating. But yeah, Herbig came up big because Fred Warner got injured and he needed 2 IDPs out of 1 guy, and
we got it. Yeah, especially on the other side. Riley did get 23 points out of Byron Young here. And he got 32 points out of George Pickens, who used to be on my team, but right on Sunday morning, me and Riley did a little trade, Derrick Henry for George Pickens straight up, and so far he got the better end of it here because he got 32 points out of George Pickens there. He's got 2 Cowboys now, paid a lot for him, and they at least helped him this week get to the median win. That was huge for him. Getting 22 points at a Baker was about expected, so not anything crazy, but Yeah, the Byron Young, Trey Tucker, and George Pickens combo did it for him in the end, and even a touchdown at a Darren Waller was a big contributor as well. So managed to get another win and stay in the hunt here at 5-7. He's right in the middle of the pack, and Sal taking 2 wins on this one puts him firmly in first after a uncharacteristic game from the sleepers, which we mentioned. Let's go ahead and dig into that one here. Your matchup versus Artie. You scored about 150 points, took a nice strong 2-0 here, and you put the sleepers away. They really didn't need much help, only scoring 66 and a half. We'll notice Jaden Daniels is here on your side. Another trade getting put through this week. Mr. Drake May portrait, the Draconic Sorcerers, Drake, high draft pick Drake, the whole 9 yards. Traded for Jaden Daniels, what was it, Saturday before the games? Just getting some deals done. Him and Corey putting something together here and getting a 2-for-2 trade. Jaden Daniels and T. Higgins, was it, right? He didn't end up making it into your lineup on this one, but
No, we're
him
testing
now.
the waters here. Yeah,
You
he's mine.
you have
Joe
him now.
Flacco threw to him. It didn't look bad. It looked better than Browning, and
His
you know,
highest yardage total of the year so far with 62 yards.
I, another week in the system. Flacco's going to be able to kind of pick that up. He'll figure out just how fast he needs to get that ball out with the Bengals defending him. And yeah, no, it was I do have a lot of faith in Drake May. I planted my flag there. I am in no way saying that Drake May is worse than Jaden Daniels. I think they're right around here together. I think they'll fluctuate, probably finish within 2 or 3 spots of each other at the end of the year. But I do think T. Higgins is a little bit of a step up above Josh Downs. So beyond that, just I hadn't traded anyone yet. Something had to move, and Drake was never going to leave my team otherwise. So gave him to Corey. I know he'll do well on Corey's team because Corey's lucky as hell. So all the good juju gets to keep going. The Patriots can continue to succeed. And
Wow.
yeah,
How
all the best for
magnanimous
Drake
of
May.
you.
I know.
Trading
All the
Drake
best
May
for Drake
away
May.
for Drake May to succeed. Truly big
That's
brain.
right.
Didn't even consider the implications there until now. Thank you for enlightening us and making that sacrifice for all of the people of New England. We appreciate you, Ricky, and what you've done for us here. And for your good karma, you were granted a 2-0 week
Oh
with
yeah.
plenty of points from Jaden Daniels on Monday night, 28 there. You got 24 out of CMC. You got 13 out of Alvin Kamara. All great stuff above their projections here. Brian Thomas looking like the guy that you drafted, finally. It has been a journey for you here. That was a loss for the Jaguars, one of their 2 of the year so far. But he still got his in that game, and Trevor Lawrence finally looked like he was linking up with him. And that's a
Yeah,
tough
against Seattle
defense to
too.
do it
Yeah.
too. Yeah, so that's definitely good news looking up for you in the future here. And we'll see what happens with him as we move forward. Always been great with getting touchdowns. He should be getting plenty more of those. Devontae Adams, we talked about Puka being, missing in action now, so Devontae might have a bigger week this week in that London game against the Jags Sunday morning. Devontae's their number 1 guy while Puka's out, so we'll see if he has a nice volume game this week. Golden looking like he's coming up for you. Jameson Williams finally having a bigger week there. This is what is probably his best performance of the year so far.
It
No,
is.
he had that 18.8 week too, but
He ties it. He scored in both weeks.
yeah.
His usage here was a lot more promising.
Yeah, 6 receptions. That's his highest of the year so far. 6 receptions in a game
Hell
for
yeah.
him. So definitely in a PPR system, that's going to make him shine a lot here. So good on him for that one. Finally showing some starting power for you, and we'll see if he keeps that spot over T. Higgins or what decisions you've made leading into week 7 here. But yeah, this moves you kind of up above a lot of the mucky muck in the middle of the pack here. Starting to be up towards the top, but we'll see if you can keep that spot. You're not that far removed yet. And we'll get into the standings to postulate more about that
Right.
here. But 10-2 for the previously unbeaten Cosbys. There's no more undefeated teams in the league, and there's no more winless teams here. So we all know the taste of victory and the the sting of defeat. Now everyone has felt it, and everyone knows what they're looking to get and looking to avoid moving forward. It's just even the best teams can fall here, so no one should give up hope and say a team's unbeatable moving into a week. Can happen to anybody here.
Yeah, London games happen to a lot of teams. I think that was a big part of why the Cosbys underperformed here. It was Fields, Dobbins, and Garrett Wilson in that London game, which stunk.
Yeah.
It was a punt fest. I think it was like 6 punts and like by the third quarter. It's just bad. There's no production going on there. And then St. Brown scoring less than JMO on the week is a big help there as well. And he didn't start his tight end. Not that would have made a difference. He picked up Dawson Knox because Dalton Kincaid was a late scratch, but
Yeah, and
didn't finish the maneuver.
he had
Um,
Goddard on his bench, but he played Thursday before he could put him in.
yeah,
So that just must have felt bad staring at him. And then, yeah, he picked up Dawson Knox to put him in later and then just didn't. But it wouldn't have made a
and I wish
difference.
he would have,
Yeah.
because then people would be looking at this and going, "Oh man, 60 points out of the 10-0 team." Of course, they'd be saying, "Oh, 90 points." It feels a lot better. It
Yeah.
doesn't make people look at me in such a weird way. But yeah, Sorcerer's up, everyone trending up, and we had a good week. Magnanimous, karma, all that for trading Drake May away. It worked out, everybody.
Yeah, and a nice strong finish for you there at about 150 points. All right, let's talk about here. We already touched on that one and this one. Let's go to the apple bottom DeJeans versus the retarded YNs. Dylan versus Corey. He did have Drake May put up an amazing week. People are saying crazy shit about Drake May already, man. I'm hearing MVP talks. I'm hearing, the future, the next 15 years of the franchise, the next Tom Brady, this and that. He just looks electric. And it's hard to blame anybody from getting excited because he really is slinging it at a historic level. The accuracy is unreal. He runs. It's all I mean, you get 28 yards, a 2-point conversion, on top of getting 261 yards and 3 touchdowns. And that's some days he runs in touchdowns himself too. It's like he can do it all, and he does do it all. He's got the Patriots looking like a completely different team. And now he's playing for the DeJeans here and putting up big numbers for him. So crazy stuff there. Achan, 32 points for him, 2 touchdowns on the day. He's involved in the passing game. He's involved in the running game. He's basically their whole offense now that Tyreek Hill is dead. It's him, and I mean Waddle's actually been more productive, and they didn't look that terrible in this game. They were close, 27-29. Came down to the end of it versus the Chargers, and yeah, Achan is a huge part of that here. Look at this massive production from the top of his lineup: 32, 32, 31. Corey just ripping it here. Started off slow. I think he was 1-5 to begin the year, and now he's at 6-6, in the top half of the league, and putting together big weeks. Josh Down, you traded to him too. It was a 16-week out of him. Huge. And he wasn't even cracking your starting lineup before, and
No, he wasn't.
and now he's out here starting for Corey. So ended up being a great trade for him this week and getting him a ton of points. But we're kind of ignoring the elephant in the room, and that is a 0 from Dylan here. didn't send us the poop hat pick, man. There's 3 days of football. We even got international games. You can put a TV on almost any channel, anytime during the day on Sunday and see football. Just take a damn picture with the hat, and this doesn't happen to you, man. Um,
Yeah.
I feel bad, but I don't feel bad. You know what I'm saying? You've been warned. We've talked to you about it, and I'm sorry, brother. You're getting a 0 on this one. What you would have scored was what, I got a
It was
screenshot of it
126.
somewhere. 126 out of your 148, but so it was an 0-2 week for you regardless, but missing out on those points at the end of the year if you get a tie with someone, that hurts, because there was a bunch of them here for you. 25 out of Jamar Chase, 19 out of Kendrick Bourne, 32 out of Josh Jacobs, 10 out of Anzalone, even 25 points out of Jackson Dart on your bench. Not that you
He
started
must be
him.
getting the nod this week. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
think.
I think
Even
Dylan's
though it's a
been
tough opponent.
converted, man. He was a Bo Nix Bo Lever, but it's been a rough ride with Bo Nix so far. Um, an 8-point week, a 15-point week, a 19-point week, a 15-point week. A couple good performances in between that, but not enough to justify continuing to just start him blindly into every matchup. So might be some
No,
Jackson Dart action here. I mean, against the Eagles, putting up 25.6 and a dub,
he's
hanging a
looking a
dub
stud.
on the Eagles for Jackson Dart. That
Uh, Next week for them is a big test for him. I feel like is it Denver?
it is Denver,
Yeah,
in
in
Denver.
Denver. Ooh, so if Dylan's, I mean, he's got the two
Oh
QBs playing against
man.
each other. He's got to
Oh
make the
man.
decision of who, and it'll probably make or break his week. I don't see both of them being studs. Maybe,
Gosh,
but
yeah, that
one of
is.
them's gonna do better than the other, and that's the truth. You
Uh,
know?
yeah, that's really rough. That's tough to look at here. At the two quarterbacks matching up against each other. We'll see what he ends up choosing. Either way, he takes the 0-2 this week here. Corey taking the 2-0, evening up his record, moving to 6-6, and Dylan going down to 5-7. All right, we've covered these bottom four matchups. We just have these top two to go. It's Alex versus the Crimson Chins. Leemon putting up an 0-2 week, a stinker in typical Leemon fashion, an under 100-point just crapshoot of a game. His team is falling apart, and he's having a rough time. And Mega Ibuka getting injured this week. It's only 2.7 points out of Denver in that extremely close win versus the Jets. That was just, we talked about that being terrible football, that international game with a bunch of punts. Terrible stuff for him. Tyrone Tracy's had his job completely taken. Cam Scadaboo is the truth and the future and the one and the guy and him. So Tyrone Tracy,
Yeah.
your time Roan Tracy is completely up, and it's over for your hopes and dreams. I'm sorry, until Scadaboo eventually gets a concussion, which is coming any day. He might do it in practice before or even in the warm-ups. Give himself one, but until
I
then,
mean, have
unstartable.
you seen Have you seen the clips? It's like, okay, these players are getting fined for leading with their heads, and Cam Scadaboo is just not. Also, the concussion protocol is never going to take him out because he's always getting up and shaking his head, and like that's just a normal play for him. They can't constantly be bringing him in, so when he does get concussed, it'll just look like a normal Cam Scadaboo play. And
Oh my
I don't know,
god.
he's like Gronk if he was like 5'10" and a running back. That's the kind of vibes I get from him, which is definitely a compliment. Um, I wanted to kind of zoom out a bit, and I'm not picking on Leemon here, but I feel like this is a pretty good example of how you could have a team that has like a lot of great players on it, but you still have needs, right? And you're not adapting to those needs. You're holding all of your awesome wide receivers because you're like, I can get by with my wide receivers. I don't need my running backs. He's had a running back hole for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and he's had a surplus of wide receivers, and he could have made moves. He could have traded Emeka Ibuka for like a king's ransom, right? But now he's injured, and that's not his fault, right? And Leemon can't just know that someone's going to get injured, but you can assume that one of these guys that has all this value wrapped up in him could just go down and become a lot less valuable real quick. I don't know. I think he picked up Tracy off the waivers. Pacheco's getting his touchdowns robbed by Kareem Hunt. Like, you have a need. Go fill it. It's the time of the season. Your draft is over. It's time to make moves. It's time to prepare for the second half, and you gotta make those moves. Take your surplus, turn it into your needs, and move on. Again, not trying to pick on Leemon here. I think everyone needs to make moves like this. I'm not just trying to
Yeah,
excite
Leemon.
the trade lines, but I am at the same time. You got to trade. You got to move. That goes for everyone. But yeah, this was he's ready to toaster bath. He spent way too long flipping you off. Meanwhile, Alex has spent all season talking about Leemon. So
They
I guess
finally did it. I forgot that this was the matchup, and Leemon put up a complete stinker versus his boyfriend. Oh
yeah,
my gosh. And Alex has been dreaming of this day. And he barely squeaked out a median win on this one too. Really just stooped as low as possible to try to smooch Leemon, and Leemon couldn't get on his tippy toes and get up there if he tried, man. 79 points. Just
Eric missed by like 2
despicable.
points. It's so sad.
Yeah, so even with his game breaker performances, just couldn't keep up to Alex
They could
daydreaming
have wet
about his man
noodled. Come
Leemon.
on.
Yeah, it would have been
Could have been
great.
Leemon Alex wet noodling here.
They could have wet
Um,
noodled together.
yeah, I mean Alex riding the coattails of the Indianapolis Colts, who are a big surprise here. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is pushing for RB1. He's RB2. There's a third guy, because I know CMC's number 1. But it's Jonathan Taylor, and is it Josh Jacobs, I think, is maybe 3, but he's like 3 or 4 points
He had a
behind.
bye week, so it's kind of hard for him to be in the
Nah. Maybe I was looking at
conversation. I think A-Chan's got to be somewhere up there too, but I think there is someone else that we're missing.
But JT has been a staple. He consistently finds the end zone. He's getting elite usage, and Alex has him. He was at a discount in the draft, and Daniel Jones pairing up nicely with him is recipe for success here. I mean, look at how strong these first 3 are, and the rest of Alex's team must not have done that great since he barely squeaked the median in. But
Yeah, Laporta a
solid
nice
showing.
week, but not a lot out of Zay Flowers. Debo Samuel only putting up 5.4 Monday night. That was disappointing versus the Bears in that loss in that revenge game for Chicago. Brees Hall only putting up 6 points there. 22 carries versus Denver for 59 yards. That's that is awful. I mean, I know they're a good defense, but that is just miserable stuff and not at all involved in the pass game there. AJ Brown, 6 receptions for 80 yards. I mean, they lost that game. They lost to the Giants. I just can't get over that. Granderson, 0.5 points, 1
Wasn't even
tackle.
close.
This guy's so funny, man. It's like, what do you do? And then you bench him and he puts up another 20-point game or something. Then he's just completely dependent on the sacks here.
Let's talk about IDPs. Where are his points coming from? It's from the sacks. He's not getting 8+ tackles a game. Like, go find someone with a floor of 8 tackles a game who also could get sacks or defend passes or force fumbles or something. Like, you can't have. I mean,
Grandy
you can.
drops back
You can roll the dice.
sometimes. He's a linebacker too.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. But if
6,
he's
7 tackles in
recording
these
1
ones.
tackle and he's only out there for 55% of the snaps, it's volatile. It's volatile. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
Get half
tough
a point.
stuff. At least he's
It's
got
not even a
TJ
solo
Watt.
tackle.
Yeah.
At least he has TJ Watt.
Yeah, Alex specifically texted me during the game and said Granderson is pissing me off. So he texted me because what?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said he texted me because I have Granderson in his defensive league in my roster as well, and I've been doing the stupid shuffle with him, putting him in and out, trying to figure out when to get his points and when he's gonna bust. And Alex knows my pain because he's been trying to do it here, and he's just failing this week, but just barely didn't end up mad. That half point. The half point was actually important for him here. I don't know if it was exactly that
No, it's
much,
not.
but
He's
you know,
0.9 above.
yeah, funny stuff anyway here. But
It's,
yeah,
and he played an entire game of football and helped someone tackle someone one time. They got paid.
the Patriots just bamboozled him, man. There's nothing he could do there. The refs were even trying to help, and they couldn't. So, what can you do? All right, we got one more matchup to talk about. It's it's the one we've alluded to here. My spanking from the Tampa Trap House. I am locked inside, running around while Chris is just slamming doors. I'm completely lost and hooked on foreign substances now.
It feels bad to lose your friend to the trap house, man. Let me tell you,
I'm gonna try
it's
to make
not
my
not
way out
fun.
eventually. It's sad. It is sad to see a former friend just poking their head out of the trap house, squinting, pale and withered. And that's me right now. Only scoring 106 points and just barely cracking it here. Waited all the way until Monday night for Josh Allen to friggin' lose to the Falcons. That was real cool. 17.4 points out of him. Yuck. 8 points out of Jalen Warren in his return. He's still, he's been good. He's still averaged almost 5 yards a carry. They just didn't really need him a ton, and he's still coming off that injury, so I'm sure they were just splitting the workload. And that's evidenced by Kenny G getting 9.6 points in the same game with a few carries and some receptions. So
Cleveland's run defense is a lot better than their pass defense,
yeah,
so
so
it makes sense.
it wasn't his game. And I've kind of already said this in the chat during the week here, but if there was a week for the Ball Hawks to just take a freaking week off and not do anything, it's got to be the week where the Trap House puts up the highest points in the league. And other teams are putting up 60 to 90 points here. I barely scored 100 points, and I think I was like the 8th place team on the week, which is wild. Like, it was a completely polarized week with a ton of low scoring and a ton of high scoring. So I didn't have a chance on this one. Sure, a median win would have been nice, but didn't quite get it here. So sad about the loss, but there are some things to take home from this one. One is that Derrick Henry. This was a disappointing game from Derrick Henry. I'll take fucking 14 disappointing points every day of the week and twice on Sunday out of a running back. That's gonna be fine with me. I gotta get through his bye week now here. But this is why I made the trade. George Pickens has definitely been plenty hot, and I think he's going to be great all year. Will CeeDee Lamb affect him coming back? I don't even know. I think he'll probably still be fine, but I wanted to get some value out of him while he was hot, and Derrick Henry has been cold, but I know he heats up towards the end of the season, so I'm hoping that ends up being a good move for me in the long run. So
Hey, Derrick Henry performs better when there's snow on the ground
that's
in
why he's the
Vermont.
Yeti. Exactly. That's why he's the Yeti. We need snow on the ground for Derrick Henry to
Snowing
truly
in
start
Vermont,
popping off.
Derrick Henry pops off. There's a correlation there. We don't know why, but it exists. Shout out the ballers. No, I mean it. I agree with you. I think Derrick Henry will get hot. George Pickens could continue to be what he's doing, but CD's going to come back. The volume's going to get split up a little bit. I think it becomes more of a touchdown thing. It's nice that the trade helped Riley win the week. He got the median win, but it wouldn't have been enough here for you to pull anything out. So you don't have to feel too
Right.
bad. Not like you traded away a win.
Right.
So there's that. Josh Allen, like that's tough because I know that you were like, I'm not going to draft someone a real high quarterback. You probably would have waited for Drake May and got sniped by me later on,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, 17 out of him. Again, that's not what you paid your third round pick for. Um, it's tough. On the other side,
Yeah.
Trap House Electric. If Furious George is getting 31 points, Dak Prescott's also getting points, and he threw 3 touchdowns and almost what was that 261 yards?
Yeah,
And Bijan
261 yards.
shot out of a cannon against Buffalo. Holy shit!
Yeah, a
He
big
had
part of
those
that.
guys looking like idiots. Like the entire Buffalo team was like, we've never seen a guy like Bijan Robinson before, and it shows. Um, and he scored enough to compensate for the fact that James Cook was completely game scripted out of the game. Lad McConkey had his first big game of the year. Chris and I were actually back and forth on trading BTJ and Lad. And I'm like, they're like for like, man. I can't do it. And they both put up exactly 23 points in their big blow up games this week. I thought that was an interesting foil. It was a nothing trade either way. Um, but yeah, I mean, those performances up top are enough to kind of skyrocket them. He must have had good IDP production here too, or
Now,
what
he
is
had
it a big
Rico Dowdle popping off in his
Rico?
flex as well. He saw the good week from him last week and put him in. Talking about trades that, didn't really affect the outcome. Me and Chris traded while we were sitting at the bar in Jamaica. We traded Caleb Williams for Dak Prescott after I picked him up off waivers. So, I mean, Caleb had a fine week. He scored 22 points. It was 27 at Dak Prescott, so that's 5 more points. If Chris had 172 instead of 177, he still would have been the number one scorer on the week. So again, it's like I'm not really worried about that either. I'm hoping that Caleb scores more for me this week during Josh Allen's bye week. That's the one where I'm really going to be paying attention to the difference there. But yeah, Chris getting the big performances out of those guys. You talked about Lad McConkey performing much better than my Keenan Allen on the other side, and that hasn't always been the case so far this year. So kind of unfortunate matchup on that one for me. All of the Bills suffered, including his Khalil Shakir and James Cook, like you mentioned, but yeah, the big performance out of Rico, Jalen Waddle even getting 16 there. And then a sack from Nick Bonito, who's been just on fire this year. So 10 points isn't enough for his projections there, but still good stuff out of an IDP in general. Only 3 from Kyle Hamilton, but
Got
yeah.
injured, I think. Right?
Uh,
Hamilton,
no, it
or
looks like he
was that
just.
another week? Oh, he
He,
was injured. He came back. They were probably ramping him back up.
yeah, only 52% of snaps, but he was out there doing it. Um, Yeah, so, a big week out of Chris, definitely adding to his win column twice over with this one here, moving to 5-5-2, which is functionally 6-6. And I'm taking home that 0-2 week here, the big L, moving down to 4-8. So yeah, let's talk about those standings real quick here. It's the well, first I like to look at the little efficiency thing. Dylan's efficiency numbers are at the bottom, even though he was technically kind of up here because he actually scored 0 points out of his
Yeah, he could have put up
148 max.
148.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could have, but didn't quite do that this week. Yeah, could have been the
could
fifth
have put
place
up
scoring.
149.
Yeah, huge. Um,
And I know that Dylan keeps talking about how the poop point will eventually win him a matchup and be the difference, and he's going to ride the poop point to the playoffs and to the championship. But it's much more likely that losing 126 points on your PF for the season will have an impact on your season. So we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, I mean, despite that, he still has more PF than
The
quite a
Nate,
few people here. So,
and a few, I thought it was just Nate.
no, it's a number. I mean, he's still in it. So we'll see if he can overcome that here. But it's definitely a big impact. You can look at a lot of the other efficiency stuff. I mean, yeah, even Artie could have put up 134 points there despite only putting up 66. So really just a massive throw week from the sleepers. It never was going to be enough to beat you this week here.
Well, I came prepared for a fight, but I showed up and he was snoozing.
He definitely, I guess he just needed his day of rest after the 10-0 start for him there. But
All the Cosbying he was doing, yeah.
the two old men at the bottom of the efficiency there, Joe Biden and the sleepers. Chris, he only pulled an 87% efficiency, even though he had a monster week. He still managed to be extremely inefficient, which is always hilarious. But can't subtract from him too much when he's the top dog for week 6 here. And then, let's take a look at the standings and see how that kind of shaped things up. It's got Sal in first place at 11-1. We got Artie at 10-2 in second. Alex is in third at 9-3. You're in fourth, Ricky, with 7-5. We've got 2 6-6 teams here in fifth and sixth place. Corey in fifth and Chris in sixth. We've got 3 5-7 teams all locked up right under the playoff cutoff line there. At 7th, 8th, and 9th are the Crimson Chins, Dylan and Riley right underneath that. All at 5-7 there. And then I'm close behind them in 10th place at 4-8. The last 2 places here is the Bower of London at 2-8-2, which is 3-9 functionally there. And then in 12th place, Team Joe Biden 1-11. A lot of movement. I think I moved down 3 spots. The Chins moved down 3 spots. You moved up 3 spots, I believe. A lot of shuffling around. Corey moved up a spot. Or you moved up 1. I think Corey moved up 3 spots.
Dylan's points for on your screen says 756, but I have him over here at 630. So it is a pretty big ding. He is above Nate, but that's it.
Okay, yeah, maybe it just hasn't. I don't know.
Just outpacing Sleepy Joe.
Wow.
But that's it. Cosby still got him by a mile. Yeah, bad stuff for Dylan there. I wouldn't want to be a game behind everyone personally. There's still this big middle pack here. Everyone from 7-5 to 4-8, I think are fighting the same fight here. Down there at 3-9 and 1-11. Those are different battles. 3-9 is even different than 1-11 in itself. Nate's gonna have to hope Rashi Rice puts up 50 points every week in perpetuity, so that he can maybe claw his way back up to 500 here.
I mean, we keep saying it can happen in reverse. 500 was enough to get to the playoffs last year, I believe. I think
it usually is.
I think the 6th place team was even and got into the playoffs. So, if he gets a win here, he doesn't even have to go 11-1 to end the season or whatever. Winning in week 7 is important for him, and getting the momentum moving into the back half of the year. He's going to need it if he wants to do anything here. You don't need to move mountains, but you do need to dig yourself out of the hole that you've put yourself in. And you're running out of time here. So, like we talked about before, a lot of stuff still to be sorted out in the middle, but we still got plenty of season to do it, and we are in the heart of it now. So let's take a look forward. We've got some waiver wire movement to talk about. Kind of unfortunate timing on the trades that did happen this week. We weren't able to talk about them on last episode, and they're old news on this one. So we're not going to talk about them on this waiver wire and trade segment here, but we'll see if anything else changes between this release and the weekend here. But until then, we got some waiver wire news. So let's go ahead and get to that, and then we can get to the projection preview next week.
Waiver wire and trades.
Okay, so I was very pleased to wake up in the morning after waivers ran and find out that despite being, correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned it a few times. I was like 11th or 12th in the waiver wire, right? Like,
You were behind me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Sal was the only one that was below
Well,
me. It goes in order on these claims here. So Chris and then Riley and then Leemon and then me and then Sal was the order. But I managed to get Keishon Boutte, however you want to say it. I dropped
I'll
Thornton
say
for
Moose.
him. I picked him up last week and he scored 25 points and Thornton scored 0 points and I dropped Booty for Thornton and started him, so that feels kind of bad.
That that
Again,
might have been a median win. I don't
no,
know.
I only
Don't do the
scored
math on that.
106. Yeah, so it wasn't quite enough there.
Plus
Um
25. Oh, I'm doing the math now. You can't stop me.
that felt pretty bad looking at it there, but I did manage to pick him back up. He did have a huge week here. He does look like he's going to be heavily involved. And even though Riley and Chris both put claims for him in as well, they didn't quite order their claims right. They picked up their IDP guys first and then went and put him in after. So kind of burn their priority on those guys who didn't have any claims against them and got beat out on my one and only waiver claim there for Keishon Boutte. So I'm happy about getting him back. Leemon got Luther Burden, and then Sal also dropped Fred Warner, who's out for the season, I believe, for a new defensive option as well. You're smirking over there. I don't even need to. I don't even need to hear the result, buddy.
All right. It's really funny though. So you know how Alex just beat out Eric by it was 120 132.28.
Yeah.
You would have been at 132.3. You would have eked him out by .02 points.
That would be pretty
Devastating.
funny. Yeah.
Devastating.
Instead, got completely goosed by Taekwon Thornton, so that's a rough one there. But we had a few other guys go through right after the waiver claims cleared here. Some tight end moves being made. Michael Mayer being picked up because it looks like Brock Bowers is probably going to miss again. Christian Watson, I think, is just coming off of IR, so Nate wanted to have a slice of that. And he also picked up J.J. McCarthy, who looks like he'll be making his third NFL start here in Week 7 if he's truly good to go there. Tyke also needed an option for Brian Branch because he's suspended, so he dumped his ass and picked up Tyke Smith here. He's got a special connection with him because it's Tyke. It's Tyke. It's Tyke picking up Tyke Smith. He loves this guy. He's told me about it. He always loves watching for him, and every time he's watching a Bucks game and he hears them say Tyke Smith, he like looks at the TV real fast. So I hope he does well for him. It's kind of like a a Ross. It's like a big. That's a locker room guy for Eric. Yeah, you gotta have that guy.
Hell yeah.
So
And Eric's close, man. He's been the misfortune all season for Eric. So he needs a couple things to go his way, and a locker room guy can do that for you.
yeah,
Just a little swing in the right direction.
might be the mojo that he needs there. So that's it for moves on the week on the waiver wire. Like you said, no new trades to discuss moving into this week so far, but still plenty of people looking to shake things up, I'm sure. So we'll see what happens before game time. But for now, let's get to our projection preview and see how things are set up moving into Week 7.
Projection preview.
All right, we got Week 7 matchups on deck here. Quite a few of them to go through. Am I supposed to acknowledge what you're doing or no?
No, for sure not.
All right, well, we got a few matchups to talk about then here. It's why don't we go ahead and just start with the Sorcerers versus the Retardinals one. It's a big matchup here between the new first place team and the team that just took down the previous first place team here. Can you do it twice in a row, Ricky?
Yeah, they'll call me Kingslayer after this. It's regicide all over the place. It's I've been looking at it. I'm not favored currently, but it's supposed to be a battle. I believe you're, not to get caught up on your thing, but Sal pointed out that you guys are projected to wet noodle. I think we're projected probably to be the opposite of that. We don't have a term for that, and we're not going to make a term. It's just two dudes battling it out up top. Kaiju battle, something like that. But yeah, Jaden Daniels into Dallas gives me good feelings. That sounds like a 35-point Jaden Daniels game. And if it's not, then it's not. But that's what it sounds like. Christian McCaffrey into Atlanta sounds a little tough, but he's CMC. He'll make it happen. And then the rest of my matchups feel pretty good here. Alvin Kamara into Chicago, Devontae Adams all alone, Brian Thomas into the Rams. Yeah, those guys facing each other in London at 9:30 is. I've considered. I don't think I can sit Devontae Adams, but I've considered sitting Brian Thomas this week just to get away from that game.
Ooh,
It's no good.
you
I
can't
just
do
watched
that.
what it did last week. No, I just watched what it did last week. I just watched Artie put up Garrett Wilson and J.K. Dobbins, who combined for like 7 points between the two of them because
These are
playing in
not the
London is
Broncos and the
bad.
Jets, though.
Yeah, it's the Jags.
London
you
is their
know,
second home. They're so used to it out there. I'm surprised they
has
only got
played.
one London game this year.
Yeah, they're branching out. Well, they're like, let's not show them the Jags anymore. Trevor Lawrence isn't it. Um, on the other side here, Darnold into Houston. It's kind of a tough matchup. It's in Seattle. That's a big plus. Ginty into the KC running defense. That's going to be tough because Vegas is still has a bad O line. Everything Ginty's done this whole season is despite the fact that he has a bad line. So maybe it'll be okay, but I have a feeling that Chris Jones is going to have something to say about Ashton Ginty and where he's going. Um, Krosky Merritt into Dallas, it's pretty juicy. I think if he poaches enough goal line work from Daniels here, I could be in trouble. That may make or break this matchup for me. It's kind of what I'm looking at. I think Ted McMillan probably does fine even against Sauce. I don't know. It's going to be contentious. I think we'll probably kaiju battle and not turn into wet noodles here. What do you think?
I kind of went with the counter prediction last week. We both did when we were talking about the potential wet noodle fight being a big one, and didn't end up being that. So, I'm tempted to not go against the projections on this one, but it is a divisional matchup for Jaden Daniels versus the Cowboys, and it is one of those games where it's like, oh, it's the Cowboys. You start your stuff against the Cowboys because they're so bad on defense, and then all of a sudden it's one of those really grindy kick fests for no reason. It's like that type of stuff does happen. So, it was
It
kind
does
of a
happen outside of Dallas. I feel like I don't know.
this last week was kind of a miserable week for most teams besides a few big performers here. So I'm hoping for some more high flying action just out of NFL football in general. So I'm tempted to believe that it will be a high scoring matchup here. I'm hoping to see that. That Monday night game better be worth staying up for, or I am gonna fall asleep. So, um,
Oh no,
you
it's
know,
Monday night. JSN and Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait
Yikes.
until friggin' 2 a.m. our time to know whether you won or lost this matchup, buddy.
Yeah,
So,
and they just combined for like 54 points between the two of them. So you
right.
know,
Yeah, it's
Sal's gonna have
everything.
to be sleeping at 40 points for me to feel safe. So
He,
that's great.
he's still
That's
got
good.
Puka in his lineup, and that's affecting his projections here. I don't think he's gonna play. I don't think he's gonna
Fair,
play.
okay. Affecting him as in it still has 18 points there, so there's a
Yeah,
chance he comes back down and probably is looking more 50-50 with me.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a long shot. Uh,
Why
their
would he?
bye is
Why
next
would he
week.
fly to London? Yeah, like why would he fly to London to force it? It just doesn't make sense. I don't think he's going to play this
You
week.
don't think you can beat the Jags without Puka? Like, I think you can do it.
Right. You're
I
right.
got faith.
Sean
Throw it to
McVay's
the Devontae
like, buddy,
Adams.
take the week off. We got you, man. We're gonna go to London and sightsee and have fun and beat the Jags while we're there, and then come back, and you'll be
Take
healthy
a
and
week
things will
off.
be good to go. Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that Sean McVay even said that the way Puka plays means that this type of injury is like even a little bit more of a concern. It's not a major injury, but the way Puka plays has us trying to like uh, we need to basically manage that a lot differently than other players. So I think he does get the week off. It makes all the sense in the world. I mean, the Rams aren't hurting for wins, right? They're probably like at least 3-3.
Yeah, I think they're. Yeah, I don't think they're winning their division. I think the Seahawks are, but I think they're close behind.
Oh, they're 4-2,
Yeah,
and so are the Jags.
yeah. So, they're still in the hunt and they want to win this one, but I think they'd rather have Puka be healthy in the long term and win more games in the future. So I think he's going to stay home, and that might mean a tougher week than Sal originally thought there. But in either case, as for who I think is going to win,
Got more Monday night stuff, man. You got JMO, Rashad White, and Jack Campbell going in
I'm
that early slot
I'm
Monday
giving it
night.
to you, Ricky. I think you're going to win this one. That's
The
my
the official hog endorsement. Let's
official
go.
projection there. And we'll see if we're both wrong on that one. But I think you might take Sal down a peg here. All right, we did yours first, so it's only fair to do mine next. It's Eric versus me, the Ball Hogs versus the Bower of London, both coming off of somewhat low scoring weeks. Oh, Eric made some moves while we were talking here because he didn't have a tight end set up before the show and we were getting things prepared. So I appreciate you getting that done for us, Eric. Cade Otten getting plugged into his lineup. He dropped Tonjes. George Kittle's expected to be back this week, so it was fine to drop him. And Cade Otten going to be relied on a little more heavily, maybe with Mike Evans still missing some time, maybe, and Igbuka out rather, and Godwin still not being 100%.
Yeah, Baker's gonna make plays. Someone's gonna be there. Kate Otten's been a reliable guy for him, so I think it's a pretty good waiver stick while he's waiting for Bowers to come back, and I think he's got another. He's got Mark Andrews on bye, like you said. So um, solid pickup. I did just snake Hawkinson right before him. I don't know if Hawkinson does better this week or Kate Otten, but something to measure, something to watch. You've got a couple of London guys over here too. You've got Travis Hunter going to the 9:30. I said a couple without really thinking about it. That might just be it. Though.
I think that's the only one. Yeah, I do have
Oh,
Travis.
two
Oh,
players. He's two players. You're on record saying that Travis Hunter is two players.
you're
You've
right.
got a couple.
Mr. Double Trouble, Travis Hunter. He is two players, so I have two players going in London.
I love being technically correct.
Anyway, I'm hoping he finally scores a touchdown. That'd be cool. A singular touchdown. The breakout week is coming. I'm on record saying the breakout week is coming. And you know what? What better week than right now, buddy? Caleb Williams getting the start here. I talked about this being an important one for me, just in terms of seeing how well he performs. It's the 1 week that I'm projecting myself to be starting anyone that's not named Josh Allen. So I'm hoping that I've made the correct choice in Caleb Williams versus the Saints. Afternoon game, at home. Like, this has got to be a good Caleb Williams week. I'm expecting a win from them here and some good stuff out of him. So he's got to stand up to the QB1 on the 2025 season so far, Patrick Mahomes on the other side.
Into Las Vegas. I mean, talk about divisional grind matchups. I think that one might turn into something like that. I don't think Vegas scores a lot, and I don't think the Chiefs are going to have to score much either.
I can see that too. Those games, that division, those games always end up being tough. All of those guys, the Raiders and the Chargers, the Broncos and the Chiefs in that AFC West division always end up having some real grind fest games against each other. So I could definitely see that happening. It'd be beneficial for me. The RB1 matchup here, Jaylen Warren versus Saquon Barkley, that's also a tale of maybe some defenses affecting the projections here. Jaylen Warren's going tonight against the Bengals. That's a matchup where running backs have just lit it up so far. So I really need that out of Jaylen Warren. He's, a few weeks removed from that injury. Got his legs back underneath him last week here. Not a massive performance then. I'm hoping for it now. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it here and, right the ship before the midway point. Saquon Barkley's playing against the Vikings, which is a tough defense. So I'm hoping, especially with Van Ginkel hopefully coming back, that Saquon Barkley maybe gets stuffed a little bit in that one.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson is questionable for Thursday too, so that's a big piece of that Cincinnati line. The Steelers, if they can win with the run game and check downs, they're going to do that. They don't need to be high flying. They just need a W. That's the kind of, game that Aaron Rodgers brings. It's the kind of game that, the head coach likes to play there as well. So
would it be hilarious to start both of them? Start Kenny G and Jaylen Warren versus the Bengals?
I mean,
he's projected 11 points now. His projections keep going up.
Yeah, that's good stuff. What's the
That's
what's
Kimani Vidal. I've got Kimani Vidal in still, and last week might be his only good week this entire year.
I think it's good for the meme, but I also think that the Chargers are playing against Indy, and if you haven't heard, Indy had Doolin, one of their receivers, out at cornerback last week because they had so many injuries going into the game and so many injuries in the game at corner that they had a wide receiver go.
They had Ashton Doolin playing cornerback.
So their core is depleted. And if that isn't Justin Herbert slinging the ball 100 times to his receivers and just forgetting about the run game, I don't know. It's at home. I think, how many opportunities does he get? Maybe they get up a bunch, but I don't know. I think Indy will fight back too. So
here's the deal. Marvin Harrison is questionable. I don't know if he's going to play after the concussion took him out of last game. He's got a bye next week.
Yeah.
Could be possibly sits out. If he does, I think I'm just plugging Kenny G in and going, I'm not going to know if Marv is out. I have to do it today.
Yeah, I think you play both your Steelers in the running back slot and then flex Vidal if Harrison's out. I think that's the play. That's what I would do. I think it's memey, and I also think it'll...
I think it's hilarious, and why the fuck not, right? I need any chance I can get. I'm doing it. I'm putting him in right now live on the show. I'm going with double Steelers running backs, and I'm taking Marv out, and I'm putting Kimani Vidal in the flex here. And if Marv plays, maybe I'll plug him back in. But this is what I'm doing. And I've got Travis Hunter as my wide receiver 1, baby. He's been promoted for this one. You're no longer just an IDP dart throw in my IDP slot. Here we go, Travis. You're being promoted. This is your breakout game this week. I'm calling it again, but for real this time. You at home, you watching, it's happening right now.
You,
the viewer, you need to know this, that it's happening this week. Travis Hunter, go put the fucking mortgage down on it. All right. No. We got, we talked about the Colts against the Chargers in that matchup. He's got Pittman going there. So we'll both be paying attention to that one pretty closely. Sunday afternoon, Harold Fannin just the meteoric rise of Harold Fannin this year makes me so excited. Njoku got injured this last week. Never wish injury upon a player that's not named Patrick Mahomes, but it is always nice to see the competition go away from your tight end here. So Harold Fannin having kind of the spotlight put on him, and Dylan Gabriel seems to love to throw to him and to love to throw the ball in general. He had like 54 passes or something in this last game, something
They
ridiculous like
developed
that.
chemistry through training camp, I'm sure, right? It's two rookies coming in,
I
and,
said that. Didn't
and
I say
yeah,
that? I believe
I don't
that.
know,
I
probably, yeah.
I said that weeks ago, and I was like, I'm all in on Fannin. I think that Dylan Gabriel developed chemistry with him when they were both coming in as rookies. I agree with you, man. I think that's true. I think it's real, and I think Big Fanny is the future there.
You drop Hawk and Mark Andrews. I mean, that's a flag plan. I only need Fanny. Of the three, I picked Fanny, and last week he did well. Let's see if he can continue to do it here. Jordan Addison might not be disciplined for the first quarter of this week if he can get his act right.
Yeah, here's
So
hoping.
that's a big boon against Philly's very soft secondary. I don't know. You and Eric both have had tough sledding so far. One of you has to get the matchup win here, so that's a big plus. But I think both of you will probably be knocking on the median. Hopefully, it doesn't come down to like a 2-0-0-2, like right on the other side of the median type of week, because I don't think either of you really deserve that right now. But uh, looking at Eric's side, I don't love the matchups. I think Las Vegas for Mahomes is tough. I think Minnesota for Barkley is also on the tougher side. The Minnesota defense is good. I don't see Tony Pollard really turning up against New England. I think they kind of just swarmed them and actually just shut Cam Ward and everything down. Um, Drake London and San Fran's fine. San Fran secondary isn't all there this year. How's the Chargers secondary for someone like Pittman? Uh, Mediocre, all right, middle of the
They've been
pack.
all right. I mean, I don't have the fancy sleeper color coding in front of me on this screen, but I think
I mean,
they've been middle of the road. I don't
I don't
know.
feel too bad about the rest of these matchups, but um, the top three or four kind of, or I guess just the QB and the running backs. I don't particularly like. He also has Terry in there, hoping that he plays. He's still not 100% a go. So we'll see if Terry goes or if he'll have to pivot down to somebody.
Yeah, Cooper Cup, I guess, or
Well,
DJ Moore went to the
uh,
hospital after his groin injury, so we'll see if he ends
ow.
up playing there. But yeah, obviously I got a lot of hopes and dreams riding on this here. Really need to get things moving in the right direction. It's been a slow start for the Ball Hogs, but the theory has always been I'm going to end strong, but need to start
It's a
with the
crappy
ending
team.
strong here. So
Yeah. It's the beginning of the end, everybody.
yeah, here it
It's
comes.
actually just the end of the beginning. But next week is the beginning of the end, okay?
All right, let's talk about the 69ers versus the Sleepers here. Alex versus Artie. It's Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor leading the way again in that same matchup that we talked about here. So it doesn't matter if the secondary is soft or not. He's going to be getting all the points that Indy scores through the air or on the ground. And that has been a recipe for success so far. He's got Kyron Williams in that morning game in London that we've already discussed against Travis Etienne in that same game there. So both of these guys are going to be paying attention to that one. CeeDee Lamb already slotted in, where they're saying he might play. He's in a limited practice return. We'll see what happens with him is the official word, but Alex is calling it now. He's going in. He's putting CD in, and I don't blame him for it. He wants to see some action out of his number one guy there.
I mean, for the Cowboys, it's divisional. They're 2-3-1 right now.
They need it.
Up against a 3-3 Washington. If they want to excel in the division, they need to put their best foot forward, and CD is obviously that. So if he can go, I think he will go. Not like the other guys we've talked about that have the buys right behind them or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's well away. They're definitely not holding him out till week 10. Um, so I think he probably goes if he can. Debo's here. Terry may or may not go. I don't think Garrett Wilson's going. In fact, Sleeper doesn't think he's going either.
Yeah.
Uh, so we'll see how he pivots there. I think he has some decent options. Diggs or Olave can get promoted here, and then you're looking at all kinds of stuff on his bench. He has
Yeah, it's got
K9.
Kenneth Walker
Got
and
Nico
DeAndre
Collins just
Swift.
sitting down there still. It's going to be Nico.
Yeah, Nico Collins, right. I mean, yeah, he was on bye last week, so he just hasn't moved some stuff around here, but definitely should have that replaced, and that'll bring his projection a lot closer here.
Carolina defense is kind of spooky, especially for someone like Fields. They're good against the run, and they shut out the Falcons. Like I don't know. It's it's in the Meadowlands. Like I don't know. Doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
Doesn't feel good.
Fields could just get sacked another 9 times or whatever it was this last game here.
Insane.
Either way, yeah, it's going to be important for Artie's team that does not happen. I mean, historically, the Panthers is a matchup you load up on. You're like, I'm excited to play my guys versus the Panthers. But, geez, anything can be a test for these winless Jets here. They seem to make any game, any situation look difficult. Yeah, they're still winless. I don't even know what they practice, man. Like legitimately, how do you come into a 2-minute drill and look lost? You haven't done 1 2-minute drill in practice and like done anything. Like they're just wandering around staring at each other, and the time ticks away from them. You lose this game by 2 points, and you had like 2 opportunities at 2-minute drills. Ugh, I was watching that game just saying out loud, what are you doing? What is happening? Walking around in this office with the game on the screen just going, what is going on? I think I even texted everybody in the chat. I was like, what is even happening right now? Some of the most baffling coaching decisions and just no urgency. I mean, the team looks fucking terrible. God.
Yeah, no, it's bad coaching for sure. I mean, I don't know who's behind Aaron Glenn up there in New York, but I don't know. I think that that Saleh last year got the brunt of Aaron Rodgers for no reason. I think Saleh's a fine coach, and I think Aaron Glenn is a bum.
Yeah,
a bum. I mean, he's the defensive coordinator from Detroit, right? That was his big claim to fame. Their defense has been shit. He took a good defense and it's shit. It's ass. So the Ben Johnson experience, that's good. The Aaron Glenn experience, that's bad. I mean, it's coordinators becoming head coaches. It's a coin flip, seems like. I wouldn't be surprised.
well,
We're 0-6. How many 0 and what until Aaron Glenn is looking for a job?
I don't know if he ever loses the
You
job
think
in
they
the
go
first year.
0-17?
God, can you imagine? Maybe they do that. Oh my God, I can't imagine them winning any games with the way they've been playing.
Carolina's 3-3. Bryce Young looks okay. Like I think Carolina's going to score on them, and I don't think the Jets will have it in them without Garrett Wilson to do anything. What are they going to do?
Ugh.
Are they going to pass to Allen Lazard? Hey, Allen Lazard, that's a pickup this week.
They got to trade Breece Hall away. That's what they got to do. They got to trade Breece Hall.
Chargers need him.
Oh,
the
man.
Chiefs need him.
There's plenty of teams that need him for sure. I mean, I'm sure even like the Texans would take him.
Hell, the Patriots would take him.
Yeah, the Patriots would take him.
They won't, but it's nice to think about. Yeah, it's these are 2 top of the leaderboard guys. They're going head to head. We got 10-2 versus 9-3 here. So we talked a lot about how Artie's got some holes here, but he's if you go 10-0 to 10-2 to 10-4, all of a sudden you feel like your castle's been built on a pile of sand and salt, and it's gonna wash away here. So I'm sure that's what Alex is gonna hope to do.
My official prediction is that is what will happen, is that the 69ers will take this one home, and the cracks may start to show a little more for the Cosbys here. think J.K. Dobbins is a lease on life, and eventually his effectiveness will wane as the season gets longer. I think Justin Fields has more of those coin flip games that finally land tails for him. And yeah, without Garrett Wilson there, he's going to be putting Nico Collins back in, but we'll
It
see
also
if
hurts Fields.
yeah, we'll
You
see
know,
if it all can come together for him here. Neither case, Alex has been playing strong, projected to score quite highly here, and I don't see that being incorrect on this one. So, giving it to the Niners. All right, let's talk about Team Joe Biden versus the Basketball Americans. Team Joe Biden is favored in this one. He's got all his guys coming back in. Even though he's at the bottom of the leaderboard, he's got one of the higher projections on the week at 134. And Riley's kind of limping into this one a little bit here. He's finally bringing Kittle back in. He's been waiting for that one for a while. But still, flexing Michael Carter. And he's even flexing Waller here as as an option instead of in his tight end slot, because a lot of other stuff has been kind of letting him down here. Hassan Haskins didn't end up being the lead back after Amari and Hampton departed there. Keon Coleman on bye this week. Godwin is doubtful. Tutu Atwell, he just picked up on waivers. Alec Pierce and Zaire Franklin, I think he's either just coming back in or he's keeping him swapped out. But
I just picked up Marcus Jones. It's Marcus
yeah,
Jones week, and I like the Marcus Jones start because Tennessee's been allowing a lot of sacks, and if you've got New England Marcus Jones, it does rush, does get in there from time to time, and get after the quarterback. I think he
some
got
big
a sack
weeks.
this last week. Yeah, I like it here into Tennessee. I think it's a good matchup for him. Byron Young in the Jacksonville. I also like that. But beyond that, it's shaky stuff here. We're hoping George Pickens is still being highlighted with CD coming from injury and the Javonte Williams. Basically, no TDs for CD. That's what he wants. He wants Javonte or George doing it. And the Lions did say that they gave the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs too much last week, 70-30 split, and that they need David Montgomery to get in there more often. So maybe we see that here. I don't know, Baker into Detroit. It seems like he's gonna be a dog there. That's fine.
Yeah, big
Um,
matchup for them here. Baker, Demont, Gibbs, and Mike Evans all going in that Monday night 7 o'clock game for us here.
Throw in Aiden Hutchinson too, and
Oh
we've got a
man,
party.
yeah, it is a big deal for those guys here. A
Should be
lot
a
of
fun game.
all the Sunday stuff is just going to be a warm up for the fireworks for them here. They get a little bit of Chase Brown tonight, and then yeah, a lot of pre-jack until Monday at 7, where everything finally pops off for him here. And I think it'll be close. Things have been disappointing for Nate so far this year. And as much as I want to say better times are coming, I just have a hard time putting all my eggs in that
Starting
basket,
Ramondre.
man. He's proven to. Wait, he's starting Ramondre? Yeah, I don't know,
Starting
man.
Ramondre.
Tough stuff. It's
I mean, damn, man. I think he missed his 2 touchdown week too, which is the craziest part. He
right.
started him, and then missed, 7 carries for 14 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he still light him up. He's got Sterling Shepard down there. I feel like that's a good flex this week with the Igbuka going out, Sterling coming back. Isaiah Bond into Miami, Charbonnet. I like all of these guys better. Hell, put Zach Ertz in there over Ramondre Stevenson. Darius Slayton. I don't know. Why are you starting Ramondre? Like I get it,
He loves
but
him.
at the same time I don't. I don't get it at all. Um, so we'll see here. But yeah, Rashi Rice immediately shot out of a cannon. He's got 15 points, and I mean that's how everyone's talking about him. I know you're not like I think you're on the other side of the Rice conversation. I think that one of two things happens. It's not a very big flag to plant here, right? But either Rice comes in and he's kind of mediocre and disappointing. People are like, wait a minute, Were we hoodwinked? Or he just explodes onto the scene with KC in a divisional matchup against Vegas. I think he takes a week to get going, honestly. And I'll be looking to collect from all the people that see the 1 week and go, oh man, it wasn't what I thought. I need something different. Nate, if you're listening, stop. And just fast forward like 10 seconds. I'm coming for Rice
You
next
know,
week after the bad week.
in my head, I'm like, nah, it's going to take him a while. Patrick always spreads the ball around. It's going to be inconsistent, blah, blah, blah. But in my heart, I know they're going to come out. He's going to get 3 catches on the first drive, and I'm going to feel like an idiot, like, instantly. So,
That's fair.
yeah, we'll see what
Got fresh leg.
we'll see what
It's not
happens.
off an injury.
But yeah, it's definitely something a lot of people have their eyes on here. In any case,
I don't know. How is Riley not favored here? I don't like. It's not even close either. It's like an 11-point difference.
I mean,
Like
he's
it's
got
really
Michael Carter,
Michael
only
Carter.
projected 7. I think that's a big
Damn,
part of it. And
it'd be like that, huh?
yeah, only 10 out of Darren Waller in his second flex. Trey Tucker, 10 points there. It's yeah. I mean, it's not. You know what? This is our wet noodle fight of the week. That's what I'm thinking. And
I mean, it's
I think
pretty
Riley
safe
takes
bet.
it. I think Riley takes it in a wet noodle fight is my projection for this one here.
Riley in the wet noodle.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you got?
Yeah, I think I have Riley. I mean, Mike Evans and Rashi Rice might just do it for the kid here for old Job. Um, Chase Brown into Pittsburgh. That sounds so rough. But sometimes those things explode. And I don't know. Gibbs versus Monty head to head. Monty just had 70% snap share. Yeah, head to head, just like that. He just had 70% snap share and did nothing with it. 7.5 points against KC.
Yeah,
So
he's blocking.
yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna give it to Nate. I need Nate to get reinvigorated into the season. 3-11. Hey, listen,
2-0 to Nate? No wet noodle?
yeah,
Wow.
2-0 to Nate. 2-0 to Nate. No wet noodle. He puts up 154 this week.
Woo! 154. Okay. All right. Who's his MVP?
It's gonna be Hunter Henry with 26 points.
Hunter Henry scores 2 touchdowns versus the Titans. Incredible. All right. I am looking forward to it. Book it.
I believe in you. I believe in you. Get Ramondre out.
Get Ramondre out.
Get him out.
He's not getting
Get
those
him
2
out.
touchdowns.
No.
So if he doesn't get Ramondre out, does he lose?
No. He puts up 154. But if he
Okay.
gets Ramondre out, he puts up 167.
Ooh, right? Holy shit! That's a 13-point difference.
Yeah, there's 13 points on his bench, and there's a 0 in Ramondre.
Oh man. All right, let's talk about the Crimson Chins versus the retarded YNs. It's Dylan versus Leemon. Leemon's projected 102 points. What's the problem down here? He's missing an IDP guy, but really that's it, man. I mean, he'd be projected like 110. I guess that's what I'm projected, so I can't complain too much here.
It is running backs. It's Pacheco and Woody Marks, man. Woody Marks is projected to outscore Pacheco, who is his running back 1.
Yeah.
It's a Pacheco show here, and guess what? It's a show that no one's watching. It's Hunter Henry. I mean, it's Kareem Hunt on the goal line. It's never going to Pacheco. Look at his rushing TDs. They don't exist. You can't look at them. It's just red with a dash. He's fine production-wise on the ground. He gets there, but on like 10 touches. 10 touches.
Yeah, he's
50
good
yards.
for 3 targets and 10 touches about.
Yeah, there's nothing doing there, man. And I know Leemon probably thinks it's too late because he got injuries with his guys and they can't trade them now, but I think you could. I think you could probably turn Emeka Egbuka into a solid startable running back, someone who's big up and has some stuff to dish out. Alex. I'm not gonna give you all the tips, Leemon. Go find it. Forget about the acceptophobia. Your ship has holes in it. Patch it. Clearly, you're projected for 102. The IDP is going to bring you up to like 112, and you want the guy that scored 0 points last week to really show you up in week 7. Don't let it happen, man.
Yeah,
Don't let
and
it happen.
he's still got Bo Nix in his starting lineup. He didn't sub Jackson Dart in. I think he's still going to go with Bo Nix. I mean, those are two tough defenses, too. That's definitely going to be another low-scoring grinder, I think. Or Cam Scadaboo scores 3 touchdowns again. But not a lot of points to be had in the quarterback department. I think that Devontae Smith showed that he was going to be more involved in the last couple games, definitely getting some more targets, but it's still spotty, man. Super hard to depend on him or any Eagle right now. Jonnu Smith getting plugged in at tight end. I think he just picked him up. Um,
Worthy riding the pine.
Worthy is riding the pine. Yeah, wow.
Riding the pine. He's going for the 4. No, just 3. 3 running backs. Sorry, he's got Juckins, Henderson, and Jacobs.
Starting Ravion Henderson over Xavier Worthy. I mean, that's surprising to me.
I mean, he's projected for 10 points. Yeah, I don't know. It's Tennessee. I think the Tennessee matchup is good, but I don't know. I think Xavier Worthy could find his way in there. Maybe he thinks Rice comes back. Worthy takes a week off. He doesn't get as many looks. Maybe he wants to wait and see, but damn, I don't know. Bo Nix. I do not believe in Bo Nix to put up this week. I'd rather go to the waivers and grab Aaron Rodgers.
Well, you'd have to do that quick because he's playing tonight here. Jamar Chase also going tonight in this Thursday night football game. Pittsburgh versus the Bengals. That's, God, I mean, that's the two ancient quarterbacks there, Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers, going head to head in the short week. Is it going to just turn into a good old-fashioned shootout of old?
I think it could.
That would be
the
great.
Good for the quick turnaround, right? I mean, it's not like Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco aren't privy to what that feels like and how to prep for that. I don't know. Hey, Dylan, I think actually thinking about it now, Joe Flacco and Jamar Chase get the stack going. What do you have to lose? It's Leemon. You could definitely stack Leemon right now.
Put Leemon in the dirt with a stack.
Yeah, stack him up and put him away, man. Stack him, pack him, and flack him out.
Chigakonkwo out of here. Get Isaiah. You don't need fucking 3 tight ends on your roster. Go get yourself a winner and win the week against a poor, defenseless, beaten, down and out, decrepit Crimson Chin's team. I think no matter who he puts in at quarterback, Dylan's going to be taking this one home this week. These guys have the same record, but very different outlooks right now, and I think that the YNs are on the up and up here.
Yeah, Target Conglomerate on top. The Chins, adapt or die, Leemon. Figure it out.
Adapt or die. All right, I think it's just down to our last matchup here, the Apple Bottom DeJeans versus the White Hot Tampa Trap House. They're so hot right now.
They're both hot. They're both hot.
They both got some hot quarterback action happening recently here. Even both their RB1s are coming off hot games, and their RB2s are both surprising young, scrappy guys making a name for themselves in the last few weeks here. So a lot of symmetry between these two teams. They're both also 6-6, so they're definitely looking to differentiate themselves in this one here. God, it really is funny. It's like your wide receiver one that you drafted and you stood by, standing right next to each other here. Guy that maybe came off the waivers but has been impressing so far. Here's a dependable white tight end from last year that's been doing good this year so far.
I could get Fergie there. Ferguson's gonna eat. I think
Fergie has been going nuts recently. Yeah. I mean, look at these target numbers, and last week it was a little bit of a slow one for him, but
That 14 targets is with CeeDee Lamb on the field, and he caught 13 of them. I think Jake Ferguson. I tried to get him off Chris. He was like, "I'm gonna hang on to him for now." I was targeting him. I think he's gonna be good rest of season. I think Travis Kelce, um, the work that he does is the same work that Rashee Rice does. I mean, it's the same sort of role, except Rashee Rice is better at it, smaller, faster, a little more dependable. He's T5 on the season. I think he takes a step back though. I think that might be part of the reason why the Dogs aren't able to escape the trap house here. He's hoping for Kareem Hunt and
Definitely
Travis Kelce to
dependent.
get into the end zone here in a divisional matchup against the Raiders.
Nah, you know what it is? He doesn't have Justin Jefferson in yet. That's definitely getting plugged in off the bye. I remember looking at his stuff earlier, and I know he's probably going to put Cooper DeJean in as well, but surely he takes out like Kareem Hunt and puts in Justin Jefferson, right? Get
Yeah,
Kareem
you'd think.
Hunt out of there.
I think that's right. Rashid Shaheed, man, he's been
He's been awesome.
targeted. He's been targeted on those long bombs couple games in a row now, and I think he got broken up. We got all the yards for it, so they'll continue to do that. It gets the ball down the field for him.
You know what you get out of Rashid Shaheed? 4 receptions. And that's
Yeah,
what you get.
that's,
6 week one, and
and
then 4 the next day, and maybe
anywhere
a
from
touchdown.
28 to 154 yards.
Yeah, that's incredible. Incredibly inconsistent consistency there from Rashid Shaheed. He's just so fast, man. He does their punt returns too. Um, for a team that was really kind of regarded without respect. There was definitely low expectations for the Saints coming in. We've mentioned them a few times now, man. They got some weapons that are still being supported. Rashid Shaheed and Olave have been doing above expectation. Kamara's still there doing stuff. Jawan Johnson was a pretty big early part of the year tight end threat, and he's had some health issues so far. But it's exciting to watch those Saints games, despite what we were thinking coming into the season.
Well, you know what New Orleans does that really helps all these fantasy prospects? It's the pace at which they play on offense. They go up tempo, they play a lot of snaps, and they do it quickly. So like you're getting more bang for your buck on any given game because they're just playing faster and more snaps and up tempo, and they're trying to just beat their opponent with pace. It's not really working. They're 1-5, but it makes them exciting. It makes it so that Chris Olave can have 15 targets in a game, while Juwan Johnson's getting 8 and Rashid Shaheed's catching 4 every game without fail. So, yeah, the Saints, good for fantasy, not fantasy terrorists. We like that. It's a lot better than the Jets.
They used to be fantasy terrorists with Sean Payton as their head
Sean
coach,
Payton
but
is a fantasy terrorist,
yeah,
and we just said terrorist 3 or 4 times on YouTube. We're sorry, don't do this.
yeah,
Our livelihood.
right close to the end too. Yeah, all of the big money that we make from our 8 viewers a week, man.
1
Please,
minute.
Daddy YouTube, don't take us down. All right, well, that's all of our matchups here. We already talked about the standings there, so no need to go over those again. And we got to give our projections for this one. We didn't say who we think is going to win. I personally think Chris's team is somewhat hollow. I don't think Rico Dowdle has another pop-off week. I don't think Wando Robinson is going to do a ton again this week. So I think he's going to score about 20 points under projection and go 0-2 on this one. The DeJeans have had stuff lining up for them. I think it looks good here. And if he puts Justin Jefferson back in, should be an easy 140-point week for him. And that's what I'm thinking. So 2-0 for the DeJeans and 0-2 for the Trap House is the official prediction from me. What do you got, Ricky?
It's a wet noodle.
This is the wet noodle.
This is the wet noodle. I mean, Scadaboo into Denver, Achan into Cleveland. I know Achan's also like PPR guy. He's gonna get his points, but it's not gonna be big ceiling. Bijan in San Francisco. I mean, Bijan, did you hear Bijan and CMC? They like work out together in the off season and stuff
Yeah.
like that because they're a similar archetype, and now they're dueling head to head Sunday Night Football. I mean, that's exciting. I think Bijan will be good. I don't know. I think it's a wet noodle, and it goes to Chris because I think Bijan and
Wow.
Waddle really pull it out for him here. I think Waddle into Cleveland's going to be pretty good.
All right. Well, we've got some differing opinions on that one here, but in any case, should be an exciting matchup. Like we talked about, these guys are kind of right on the cusp and at 500, so it shouldn't stay that way for these, at least one of these guys after this week here.
Final week of the first half.
Final week of the first half of the regular season of the fantasy football season here. And it is just about in the books. We got an exciting game to watch tonight, but that's going to about do it for us. You got anything to leave the people with, Ricky?
Yeah, tune in next week for our mid-season breakdown. And don't forget, adapt or die, and go sorcerers.
Adapt or die and go sorcerers. All right. Well, thanks, Ricky, for joining me here on this one again. As usual, it's been another fun one. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We always love bringing these to you, and we love getting down on the fantasy football action. Let's go tonight, football. Get it done. Later.
Thank you for listening to the DFL Breakdown. Tune in next week for more.